So, next one. Yeah, this needs a little introduction. Gotta go through a little bit of a rigmarole with this one, so give us a minute here. So this I will give an overview of this poem. So you can get, that was pretty straightforward, except for the fishes. I still understand what the fish is, but the rest of it was pretty straightforward. So this is a poem that, first of all, two things actually, I forgot that one. This poem ends in a toast. There's a toast in this poem, but you have to, it'll be a challenge, you have to kind of guess what the toast is. It'll be quite fun if we have a go. I won't be able to see you if you don't. I can't tell if you don't join in on this. Don't make an effort to, but it'll be funner for you if you do. And we'll come back to that. But the second most important thing about this is it's a story about, there's three characters in this. Two people meet in a party. In this case, they're a man and a woman. And they fall in love, and they cohabitate, and they live together, and so on. Right? And the third character is love. And love, at different times in this poem, it's quite a long poem too, I hope you're sitting comfortably. But there are times love kind of takes different personas or something, okay? So there's just three characters. But the thing is, two people fall in love, so there is a sex scene, okay?
Oh.
Right? Now, the thing is, and some of you are really excited about that, I know. Some of you clearly aren't. So, and this is a good point, because it's not for everybody's taste. There's no children in here. If I was rating this, and probably be maybe an 18, some might say, about 17, right?
This is 17-year-old.
Yeah. So, and also some people might not like it. Anyways, the thing is, it brings in legal kind of constraints and requirements, okay? Same. And particularly relevant to this is the Poetic Perversity Act of 1963. I mean, are you familiar with the Poetic Perversity Act of 1963? No? Yeah, you see, that's the thing about this act. Everybody forgot about it. And most MPs don't know about it. Our MP's not out here, by the way. Find out if she knew, huh? Yeah, poetic perversity back in 1963. 1963 was a weird time. I mean, the old guard was hanging around, and they would see what was happening, and they didn't like it, and they're trying to stamp on it. And they said, that's enough of this poetic perversity. People have a right to not be exposed to poetic perversity if they don't want to, okay? Why not? Fair enough. So it was a nice middle ground kind of thing. But they took all these regulations. So, but then it was a big deal at the time. There was demonstrations, resignations, blood on the streets, everything. And then after a little while, they said, oh, forget it. And they really just kind of forgot about it. Poetic perversity just went rampant, and they were like, oh, no. And then they just forgot all about it. So, here's the thing. We have to make sure that at any point in time during this performance that you are allowed to protect yourself from poetic perversity. Now, so here's what you got to do. There's just one part of it that is particularly poetically perverse. And when I get to, as I approach that bit, I'll go like this, okay? Okay? And then when I come to the poetically perverse bits, I'll go like this. And that's the point where you can, if you want, lock your ears, right? Stick them right in there. Not too far. Don't make them meet together or anything like that. Just lock them up. And then, I won't do that, of course, because I don't really mind poetic perversity. But when I'm done, I will go like this. And now you can pull your fingers out. How's that? Okay? All right? Okay, good. I can't see it. Okay, are you happy with that, Ruth? Is that all right?
No, Joel, we've got to do the drill.
All right. I thought maybe she might overlook that. Ruth told me all about this, and she's new on the job, right? You all know Ruth. Wave your hand there, Ruth. Ruth, manager. What's your job title? Manager or?
Director.
Director.
Of drills.
So we are directed to implement the drill. Now, if I remember right, Ruth, we have to put on the drill. People don't have to actually do it, but it'd be way funnier if you did. What I'll do is I'll be saying the poem, blah, 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 blah. And then when I get close to it, I'll go like, and then when I get to the poetically perverse bit, I'll go like that. And then we must all practice getting a good seal it right up. All right? And I'll do the poetically perverse bit, and then when I'm done, I'll go like that, and then, okay? Just in case you decide you don't want to be perversed. You have that right. Not a bad law. Okay, you ready?
Yeah.
Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 blah. Blah, 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 It's okay. Ruth?
Yeah, that's okay.
All right, we can get on with it now. All right. Okay, yes, everybody remember about the toast? And there's a clue for the toast in the title. You just gotta guess when it's gonna be now. Here's to love. Love entered the crowded room a few minutes after her on the night of their first meeting. Love went straight to the kitchen, not knowing what to do, since their first look was just curious and fleeting. As he made small talk with someone, his eyes sought hers among the cackling throng of faces. Love worked the room, even stepped outdoors, while she went in and out in all the right places. They maneuvered their way to the table of mangled party food, where she found he sounded as nice as he looked. Love dipped a chip in the bowl near where they stood when she told how she played poker, danced, and cooked. In the days that followed, he recalled the sweep and scent of her hair, while she re-envisions the curves of his sheepish smile. And, like a butterfly in the brain, flitting here and there, love crossed their minds every once in a while. He dug the place she chose for their first date, and she dug the way he dug the way she dug the things she dug. While love sat listening at the next table, cleaning his plate, they talked like they'd been Mickey Finn, some truth serum drug. Afterwards, they hurried back to her place, where she grabbed his ears and sucked his face, and disrobing upstairs they raced, while love slipped in behind them, remembering to close the front door. Now they were soiling and tangling sheets, their sweating faces as red as beets, each fired by the other's heat, while love rocked the bed and banged the wooden headboard. He growled, "I'm a bad dog," she yelled, "I'm a crazy bitch." They licked and rubbed and scratched these others' itch until they moaned and shook and twitched. And love, drooling and panting, held them both real tight. Basking in the glow of carnal relief, they shifted from the wet patches beneath and picked curly hairs from between their teeth, while love stretched out and blew heart-shaped smoke rings into the night. Soon they were cohabitating in a wee cottage, old and tweed, complete with a walled garden and monkey puzzle tree. She put pretty things on their place. He planted flowers in every space, and love was as busily happy as it could ever be. They remodeled and redecorated, working late into the night, rearranging and reordering until everything was just so right. She cooked pleasing meals to their palates and noses. He brought in bouquets of lupins and roses, and love curled up in front of the fire, crackling warm and bright. They flaunted and shared their joy at parties and at the pub, taking love to the church choir and tennis and cricket club. She would often muslin and smooth his hair. He would compliment whatever she'd wear, and love would sprawl on his back, begging for a belly rub. They grew accustomed to this good fortune, and even began to take it for granted. Their meals of fresh homegrown veg and good wine, well aged and decanted. There was no more DIY to do together, and there seemed little to talk about. They went to their local just for something to do, and love moped around wearing a peevish pout. They bickered about what to watch on TV. She complained he didn't do his share. He said she wasn't making an effort, and love sat on the porch, needing to get some air. She no longer could sleep through his snoring, and he was put off by her cellulite. They spent more time at work and with separate friends, and love sometimes would stay out all night. They both engaged in illicit flirtations, at first just innocent little bits of fun. They contemplated life without the other, and love microwaved frozen meals for one. It finally erupted in an almighty row. All the neighbors heard. They let out foul feelings that couldn't be put back, and love slipped out a window without a word. In the days that followed, there was no sign of love, and the atmosphere grew increasingly bad. As he packed his bags, he found himself remembering some of the really sweet times they'd had. While she waited downstairs, she thought of their lost future, and she couldn't help but feel deeply sad. At the open door, they avoided the other's eyes as if afraid of what they might see. They stood for a moment, looking aimlessly around, and they saw love high up in a distant tree. They both blurted out, talking over each other, saying, "Let's try another chance, we'll see." They went back indoors, and she helped him put his things away, each thinking, "Okay, what will be, will be." They stayed true to their word, making an effort, taking one day at a time, watching the other and their own heart, looking out for a positive sign. She would hold open doors for him. He would hold in his farts for her. And occasionally they think to themselves that it seems to be going fine. One night they decided to go out to dance and drink and dine. And afterwards they made love, and it was just like old times. He came downstairs the next morning, and he called out, "Darling, come and see this." And there in the garden lay the puke-covered love, clutching a bottle of rot gut wine. In the days that followed, there was no sign of, whoops, oh, I'm sorry. Okay. What was it say? Okay. One evening they sat out on the patio, late in the month of May, sipping white wine and relishing the end of a glorious day. Each was holding thoughts of the other, caring, kind, and fond, as they watched love watch the fish in the pretty garden pond. They mused on how love had seen them through times good and bad, and how love gave them a future they so very glad they still had. Looking at and into each other, they smiled and raised their drinks, and they reached across the table and made their glasses clink and cried, "Here's to love." Oh, well, yeah, that's